Hi there, my name is Shane Cradock and I improve people's performance in their personal lives and their professional lives and also within their teams and organizations. I have over 20 years experience doing that across 50 different industries and working with entrepreneurs, C-level executives, educators, sports people, students and pretty much anybody in any walk of life. But there's one factor that if you know any of my material, you know that I'm very passionate about because to me it actually makes the biggest difference, and that is the area of your mind. But there's one area within that context which most people know about as a word, but actually I feel that my understanding is they don't really have that understanding that I would see around mindset. And the people have different understandings of what that actually means and how do you enhance it, how do you cultivate it, how do you change it if it's gone wrong, and even how do you change it in a team or organization. And there's one model that I use with people that I'd like to share with you that I call the mindset performance loop. And just very quickly to talk you through it, this is, I suppose, in my experience, how our mindset influences everything that happens for you. So you have a mindset which is really a set of beliefs or even a set of attitudes that are fixed, and usually they're unconscious, as in you're not fully aware that it's even there. But that mindset or collection of attitudes gives an attitude, it gives a filter on a specific project, a situation, or even a person. So for everything that you're going to be asked to do in life, for every person that you meet and every situation you find yourself in, your mind actually throws up a mindset which actually is a filter, and that actually influences what happens next, which is how you behave. So how you behave, if you think about it, think about the person maybe that you love the most, and when things are going well with them, you know, you have a mindset towards that, an attitude, and that affects again how you behave in terms of your tone, how you feel, your body language, everything. But then think about somebody you don't like, the mindset attached to them. You might even have seen them for 2 or 3 years, but your mind has got a certain mindset towards them. And that creates a filter which affects again in tone and attitude and behavior. Now, after that then, when I'm behaving, that reflects in terms of my actions, in terms of the kind of actions that I do, and also the kind of actions that I don't take. So I might take action or I might not based on my behavior, but it all starts again with your mindset. And then your actions obviously over time add up to your results. And over time then your results add up to your overall level of performance. I call this the mindset performance loop because the actual performance actually reinforces your mindset. So for example, at one point in my life when I was in my mid-20s, I actually had a very depressed mindset, which was gone very negative, very pessimistic. And that reflected in the way that my work and my life actually was becoming. So my performance was actually going down. And that actually reinforced my mindset, which was, oh yeah, nothing's going to work out. You know, you're not able to control things, you're not able to influence things. So the performance, which was negative, was actually reinforcing my mindset to say, actually, this is reality. But it wasn't. But I realized, I suppose through a lot of work and learning, was that if I could change my mindset and challenge the mindset, and even if I could change it to something that was the opposite, in this case positive or optimistic, and start to learn that kind of a mindset, that actually would immediately cause a ripple effect that would go to my attitude, to my behavior, to my actions, to my results, to my performance. And as my performance started to get better, that would make it easier to maintain a positive mindset. But most people, this is what I discovered for myself, is we never actually ask ourselves, what is my mindset in this situation? And your mindset essentially is, you know, it's actually now the way you're looking at a situation. And as someone said to me before, you know, the way you see a problem usually is the problem. So if you're looking at something that actually through a negative filter, very often it's unconscious, and so you're not even aware that the way you're looking at it is now distorting what's going on. Because take, for example, somebody that you haven't seen for a few years that I mentioned earlier on, that maybe you didn't like before, but maybe they've changed in the intervening years. But your mindset, if it's so blinkered and colored, may not allow for that fact. May not allow for the fact that actually they've done some work, that they're different people or they're better people, or maybe they even feel sorry for what they did if it was something negative. So a great question to ask yourself before you have any sort of project or any sort of important thing that's in front of you, whether it's a relationship or work related or business or with your team, is to ask, what is my mindset towards this? And if it's not backing up a positive outcome, if it's not backing up the way you'd like things to go, to actually consciously change your mindset. That sounds easy. It actually takes a lot of mental discipline and guts to actually even say to yourself, what is my mindset? Because most of the time, most of us find it very difficult to see it because it's almost in the blind spot. So very often what's useful is to ask somebody you trust, as in somebody who will tell you the truth, who's a real friend, to say, well, what do you think my mindset is towards this? And then can I change it? Because so often I see the mindset, if you're not careful, will reinforce whatever it wants to see. It's like if I have a red filter, everything becomes red. But maybe I need to change the filter. And so for me, what I've learned is the quality of my life and the quality of my results is directly determined by the quality of my mindset. The quality of my life and results is directly determined by the quality of my mindset. So how do I cultivate it? Well, first of all, be aware that it's there. But actually, I was talking to somebody recently in a sporting context. They were telling me an example of a very good player in a sporting context who usually would perform at a very good level, allowed himself to get distracted unknowingly. And what happened was he went into a match which was very important and performed well below where he should have been performing, where he would normally perform. And actually got substituted off the pitch, which was the first time that ever happened to him. And when we were talking it out, he started to realize actually that there was something he'd done during the week, and actually on that day he was actually preparing for an interview for a job. And actually that anxiety around the interview, which his mindset had flipped into kind of negative and worry, he said actually was zapping and sapping energy from him that was reflecting across all sorts of things here. So his negative mindset, which had crept in on the work side, now affected his energy on the sports side. And so that's actually how simple it can be. Or if you're working with a team, I was working with an organization before in the tech sector, where the leader of the team had become so pessimistic that he just believed that the market had dropped so severely that he just thought there was really no chance to actually recover and do what they wanted to do. So the first thing that I had to do was say, what are you looking through? And after getting past, me annoying him with that, he realized that his mindset had completely flipped into a negative spiral where all he saw was things and reasons for it not to work out. So immediately what we did was, okay, well, let's look at that. Is that supporting the outcome and behavior that we want? No, it's not. Okay, well, let's actually start challenging that mindset. Now, there are specific mindsets that top performers use in different contexts throughout life, whether it's sports, business, or just good living. There's quite a few, but there's some key ones. I'm just going to mention one to you here specifically in this video that I call the achiever's mindset. And the achiever's mindset, again, is, I suppose, a certain way of thinking. It's a habit, a mental habit, and that reflects in a mental belief. And if you get this kind of a mindset set in your mind, again, what I like about this is by changing your mindset, you automatically change everything underneath this in terms of the loop. But the achiever's mindset is based around always focusing on the end result before you start. So before you're starting a key project, whatever it is, to actually decide in your mind what it looks like in terms of a successful end result. What does success look like? But literally to actually create that as an image in your mind that you would visualize with enthusiasm and energy over time, eventually allowing it to set like jelly, just to set through repetition, so that it comes into your mind and actually it's there. And if you can actually think big like an achiever, so very often an achiever will see something that has no logical way of getting there, but they think big because it excites them. But that's what drives their attitude and then their behavior, their action, and the results of their performance. Unfortunately, what most people do is they look at the behavior of people who are very good achievers and they'll try to replicate some of their actions. And that's fine to a point. But if you don't back it up with the mindset that's actually driving the attitude, behavior, and the actions, you won't be able to get the long-term and even the big kind of results that the achievers can get. But what's exciting from my point of view is that anybody can actually learn that mindset. But again, the achiever's mindset is to see the end result, to visualize it big, not to see the how to get there, make sure it's stretched out beyond how you see how to get there, and then to spend time every day literally visualizing the end result as if it's already happened. That's an example of one mindset that's a very specific one. So the mindset performance loop, to me, even by looking at it as a visual, is a great way for you to ask yourself, well, what are your mindsets for certain situations? A simple way to do it would be, look at the areas of your life that you're happy with, and you could say, well, how do I expand my mindset? It's pretty good. Or other areas of your life that aren't working so good, you'll generally find that your mindset has gone off, pieced, is what I would call it. So you might say, well, actually, maybe I can change, especially with relationships. Can I change what I'm looking through? Can I change my expectation of the end result? And again, what you'll find is it'll ripple down. In the business context, it's funny though, because most businesses spend time on training and a lot of money on training, billions. And I think a lot of it actually is wasted, because if you haven't got the mindset right with people that you're training, it will not stick. Because very often, for example, in sales training, a lot of salespeople don't have the mindset. Their mindset is they don't believe that they're natural salespeople. So whatever kind of training you do at a behavior level won't stick as well as somebody who actually believes 100% that they actually are a great salesperson. If I believe fundamentally in the back of my mind, in my unconscious, that I am a great salesperson, well then, whatever training you give me is going to stick. I'm going to listen and it's going to come in faster. So again, maybe question whether you're putting your attention on the right place, whether it's training, or if you are doing the training, make sure the mindset is backed up for the end result that you want to create, and make sure that the people there, whether it's you or your team or your organization, actually have the right mindset, because that is the future of business, is to get the right mindset cultivated within the culture of your team, the culture of your organization, and for yourself, and to actively every day make sure that we're asking ourselves, what are we looking through? Is this mindset backing up what we want to create? because that is the future of life, that's the future of business, and it is amazing what can happen when you take control of your mindset. Most people don't do that, they let it just happen. Whatever comes up is what I think is going to happen. But what I've discovered myself is that you can actually take control of the mindset that you want to create and put it in there in some of the ways that I've spoken about. So I hope you've got some food for thought. Again, my name is Shane Cradock. My website is shanecradock.com. If you'd like to get more information like this, you can sign up to my weekly mailing list at shanecradock.com. Thanks very much.